Well, over the weekend, Donald Trump slammed European leaders over mass migration as well, while also bragging about his shutting of the US-Mexico border, which he has every right to do. And Donald Trump warned that mass migration is killing the continent. Let's take a listen.
Stop the windmills. And I mean, there's a couple of things I could say, but on immigration, you better get your act together. You're not going to have Europe anymore. You got to get your act together. And we, as you know, last month we had nobody entering our country, nobody. Shut it down. And we took out a lot of bad people that got there with Biden. Biden was a total stiff. And what he allowed to happen, but you're allowing it to happen to your countries. And you got to stop this horrible invasion that's happening to Europe, many countries in Europe. Some people, some leaders have not let it happen. And they're not getting the proper credit they should. I could name them to you right now, but I'm not going to embarrass the other ones. But stop. This immigration is killing Europe.
James, he's pretty on point there. And of course, looking at his track record in the space of just 6 months, being able to shut the border is absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. I would say that was actually and has been his biggest success in office. It has been completely unambiguous. Europe, by contrast, is struggling. It's plagued by bureaucratic gridlock, and it always ends up following the path of least resistance, which means kicking the problem into the long grass and leading up to future leaders to sort out. Now, there has been some rhetorical change about dealing with the immigration issue across the bloc, but again, very little is being done, not enough. Just as a quick sidebar, there is one country, and Trump probably wouldn't have mentioned it, but it's the only country in Europe that has had a successful centre-left government throughout this whole period. And that is because it has been tough on immigration. It has strict integration rules, strict asylum rules, and strict immigration rules. And that is the recipe for success in Europe, and other leaders should just follow it.
I want to get your thoughts on the trade deal with the EU. Donald Trump needed 75 minutes to secure his desired outcome from the European Union. The early deal said that Europe will invest $600 billion, buy $750 billion in American energy supplies, and the majority of European goods entering the US now have 15% tariff. Now, President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, also remarked how Donald Trump was a tough negotiator.
To thank President Trump personally for his personal commitment and leadership to achieve this breakthrough. He's a tough negotiator, but he is also a deal maker.
It's interesting because Donald Trump has shown many experts who were freaking out at the time about the tariffs and what this could mean, a lot of hysteria about what's going to happen to the economy. I suppose this was part of the deal. What's your take on this?
Well, that clip of Ursula von der Leyen, it looked more like a hostage video than one of a politician celebrating a deal. And in some respects, that's exactly what it was. The EU are undoubtedly the losers from this deal. Not only have they has the US just secured a 15% tariff rate on the bloc, but it has also promised to spend hundreds of billions of dollars in investment in US military equipment. So this has been an unambiguous success for Donald Trump as well. And while von der Leyen might say, oh, well, this is a good deal, we're happy we got it over the line, a lot of other European leaders were not so happy. We had France's PM, Francis Bayrou, say this was a dark day for Europe. And then Viktor Orban of Hungary saying that Trump ate the EU for breakfast. So very mixed results here. And I don't think Ursula von der Leyen will be going to sleep very easily tonight.
Just finally, before I let you go, Donald Trump also had this to say about windmills, saying they are a con job.
The other thing I say to Europe, we will not allow a windmill to be built in the United States. They're killing us. They're killing the beauty of our scenery, our valleys, our beautiful plains, and I'm not talking about airplanes, I'm talking about beautiful plains, beautiful areas in the United States, and you look up and you see windmills all over the place. It's a horrible thing. It's the most expensive form of energy. It's no good. They're made in China, almost all of them. When they start to rust and rot in 8 years, you can't really turn them off. You can't bury them. They won't let you bury the propellers, the props, because there's a certain type of fiber that doesn't go well with the land. That's what they say. The environmentalists say you can't bury them because the fiber doesn't go well with the land. In other words, if you bury it, it will harm our soil. The whole thing is a con job. It's very expensive.
He's certainly landed some punches, James.
Donald Trump's antipathy for windmills goes back a long way. And look, I'm not necessarily anti-green energy, but I completely agree with the fact that it cannot be the sole source of energy for any nation. And this is where the West seems to be really tying one hand behind its back, because it has to be supported by other types of energy. And America, it's self-sufficient, it's energy independent, it's less of a problem for them. But in countries like Germany that have suffered so much over the last 3 years because it has turned off its nuclear power plants, it has now had to rely on other countries to provide its power. So I think when you have the wars like Russia going on, what's going on in Ukraine, driving up these electricity prices, you cannot rely on windmills who, yes, the energy powers are intermittent and the recycling ability is actually pretty low. So in some respects, Donald Trump is exactly right there. And I think Europe can once again take a lesson from him on that.
James Billot, Newsroom editor at UnHerd, thank you so much for joining us. Really great to speak with you.
Thank you.